Hi, everyone, and welcome back to English Unleashed, the podcast that helps you sound more natural, more confident, and more native-like when you speak English. I'm Tom.
And I'm Sarah.
Whether you're walking the dog, doing the dishes, or just relaxing with your coffee, we're so glad you're joining us.
Today's episode is going to be packed with expressions that native speakers use every single day, but most textbooks completely skip them.
Yeah, today we're talking about conversational responses. So these are short, emotional phrases that help you sound more real, more relaxed, and a bit more expressive.
These are the things you say when you're surprised, excited, frustrated, or just not really bothered.
So, here is how we're doing it. First, we're going to listen to a short dialogue between two friends, totally natural, full of idioms, and real reactions. Then, we'll come back and break it all down. We'll go phrase by phrase, explain the meaning, talk about when to use it, and share a few personal examples too.
So, while you're listening, don't worry about catching everything. Just relax and try to notice the phrases that feel fun or familiar.
Or totally new.
Then, we'll explain it all together afterward.
All right, here we go. Sit back and enjoy this casual conversation between two friends, Sam and Chloe, catching up after work.
Hey, thanks a million for saving me a seat. I walked in and thought, no way I'm finding a table in here.
Yeah, it's always packed at this time. But no problem at all. Happy to save it. Oh, and hey, remember that job I was really hoping to get? The one with the marketing firm?
Yeah, you were super excited about that one. What happened?
Well, no such luck. I didn't get it. They said it was really close, but, they went with someone else who had more experience.
Ah, that sucks. But you know what? Something better always comes along. And hey, speaking of good things, we're still on for that skiing trip this weekend, right? You have to come. The more the merrier. Everyone will be there. Even Jake.
Of course I'm coming. I wouldn't miss it for the world. And speaking of unexpected reunions, guess who I ran into last weekend in Barcelona, of all places?
Who?
Your old math teacher, Mr. Howard. I was standing in a line at a food stall, and there he was, buying food.
It's a small world. What are the chances? I haven't seen that guy since high school, and you just randomly bump into him in another country?
Crazy, right? And speaking of doing unexpected things, you're going to laugh at this. I went on that big roller coaster at the fair yesterday. You know, the one that loops upside down.
No way! You?
I know, right? But it wasn't even that bad. There's nothing to it. Once it started, I actually kind of enjoyed it.
Well, you can say that again. I saw videos of that ride online, and it looked intense. I would have never guessed you'd be into that.
To top it off, this random guy at the fair told me I should be a model, out of nowhere.
Don't make me laugh. I mean, yes, you're beautiful, obviously, but random compliments like that, always feel like something out of a movie.
Totally. It made me laugh too. Anyway, can you believe it's already March? I feel like New Year's just happened.
How time flies. Honestly, the weeks are starting to blur together. I blink and it's the weekend again.
Speaking of weekends, did you watch that new show I told you about? The mystery one on Netflix?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I can take it or leave it. It wasn't terrible, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
Well, fair enough.
Okay, how fun was that? Sam and Chloe's conversation was casual, real, and absolutely full of natural English. The kind of stuff you hear every day from native speakers.
Yeah, I love how every phrase they used was short and simple. That's what we're focusing on in today's episode. Conversational responses that help you sound more like a native speaker and less like a textbook. So let's walk through each of those expressions one by one. We'll explain what they mean, when to use them, and even share some personal stories because that's how you really remember them.
Okay, so the first phrase is one we use when something we wanted or hoped for doesn't happen. The expression is no such luck. No such luck. It's something we say when we feel a little bit disappointed, but we don't want to make a big deal about it.
Right. And it's useful because it's a calm way to say, it didn't work out. You can use it when you were hoping for something like winning a prize, getting a job, even finding a seat at a busy cafe.
Exactly. It's not a big, sad phrase. I mean, you're not crying. You're just saying, that's too bad.
For example, if someone asks, did you get the job? And you didn't, you might say, no such luck. It's a soft, simple way to show disappointment.
I said this just a few days ago. I really wanted to buy tickets to a music festival. I was online early, refreshing the page over and over, and still, when I clicked buy, they were already gone. My friend messaged me, did you get them? And I just wrote back, no such luck. Sold out.
I remember using this when I applied for a teaching job in Spain. I felt good about the interview. I had strong references, and I was really hopeful. But when the email came, they said, we picked someone else. I looked at the screen and just said to myself, well, no such luck.
And I like this phrase because it helps you stay calm. You're not blaming anyone, and you're not getting upset. You're just saying it didn't happen. And then you move on.
And it's great for everyday conversations too. Like if someone says, did you find a table at that new restaurant? And you didn't, you just say, no such luck. It was full. It sounds very natural.
And to our listeners, this phrase is not said in an angry way. It's more like a small sigh, a little sad, but relaxed. You're saying, oh well, maybe next time. So if something doesn't work out, big or small, and you want to sound natural and not too serious, try using no such luck. It's short, friendly, and very common in English.
All right, now let's talk about a phrase that's really cheerful and welcoming. The more, the merrier. It means that when more people join, it makes the situation better, more fun, or more exciting.
Yeah, it's something you can say when someone asks, can I bring a friend? Or is it okay if more people come? And you want to say, of course. Instead, you say, the more the merrier. You're telling them that more people will make the experience even better.
I say this all the time when I'm inviting friends to dinner. Like, maybe I invite 2 people and then one of them asks, can my cousin come too? And I say, yeah, sure. The more the merrier. I want everyone to feel welcome.
It's such a kind and open phrase. I remember once I was planning a little trip to the beach with 2 friends, and one of them asked if she could bring her sister. I didn't even think twice. I just said, of course, the more the merrier. And it really was. We had such a good time.
Yeah, and you can use it in other situations too, not just parties or trips. Let's say you're working on a group project and someone new wants to help. You can say, great, the more the merrier. It shows you're happy to have more help.
One thing I love about this phrase is that it's very positive. It shows you're not someone who wants to keep things private or exclusive. You're saying, let's include more people. It'll be even better.
Exactly. And again, to our listeners, this is such a great phrase to use when you want to sound polite, friendly, and open. It's also a good way to make someone feel comfortable if they're not sure they should join something.
Totally. So next time someone asks to join your dinner, your trip, or even your walk in the park, and you're happy to have them, smile and say, the more the merrier. It really makes people feel welcome.
Okay, this next one is one of those phrases that people say when something surprising or unexpected happens. Especially when you meet someone you know in a strange or faraway place. The phrase is, "It's a small world."
Yeah, we use this when we see someone we didn't expect to see, or we find out we have some random connection with someone. It's kind of a fun way to say, wow, what are the chances?
Exactly. I remember one time I was in Paris, just walking along the river, and I suddenly heard someone call my name. I turned around and it was my neighbor from London. I hadn't seen her in months. I couldn't believe it. I just laughed and said, "It's a small world."
That's perfect. I had a similar moment at the airport once. I was flying to Berlin and bumped into a friend from university. We hadn't spoken in years, and suddenly we were standing in the same boarding line. We both said at the same time, "Wow, it's a small world."
I think people love this phrase because it shows that feeling of surprise, but also connection. Like, even though the world is big, sometimes things line up in really unexpected ways.
Yeah, it also works when you discover you know the same person as someone else. Like, if I'm talking to someone new and they say, "Oh, I work with Sarah from the podcast," I might go, "No way, it's a small world." It's a fun way to show you're amazed by the coincidence.
Exactly. And to our listeners, this is a really natural phrase to use when you want to react in a friendly way to an unexpected situation, especially if it's about people or places that connect in some surprising way. It's short, easy to remember, and works great in conversation.
You can say it with a laugh or a smile, or even a bit of shock, like, "What? You used to live there too? It's a small world." So remember, when life surprises you, when something happens that feels almost too random or too perfect, this is the perfect expression. It's a small world.
All right, this one is short, super common, and full of emotion. The phrase is, "No way!" And you'll hear this all the time in English conversations.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that "no way" can mean different things depending on your tone and the situation. Most often, it shows surprise, like, "Wow, really?" But it can also mean "absolutely not," or "that's impossible." Let's start with the surprised version, Sarah. Imagine a friend says, "I just got engaged." You might say, "No way," with a big smile. Like, "Are you serious? That's amazing."
Exactly. Or someone tells you, "I just met a celebrity at the supermarket," and you say, "No way." It's like you're saying, "I can't believe it," but in a fun and excited way.
Now, on the other hand, "no way" can also mean definitely not. Like when you really don't want to do something. A friend says, "Let's go bungee jumping." And you go, "No way. I'm not doing that."
Yeah, I said that many times. Once, someone asked me if I wanted to run a marathon. I didn't even hesitate. I just said, "No way. I can barely jog to the bus stop."
And it's important to say tone matters a lot. If you say it with a smile or excitement, it sounds positive and fun. But if you say it with a serious face, it sounds like you're refusing or saying something isn't true. For example, if someone tells you a rumor like, "Did you hear Jamie's quitting school?" and you don't believe it, you might say, "No way, that can't be true."
So, to our listeners, just listen for how people say it and practice using it yourself. You can use it when you're surprised, excited, shocked, or even when you really want to say no in a strong but casual way. And the best part? It's short, natural, and fits in almost any conversation.
Okay, the next one is a phrase we use when something is a lot easier than people think. The expression is, there is nothing to it. It means it's easy, or it's not as hard as you expect it.
Exactly. People usually say this when someone is worried or nervous about doing something, and then they try it and realize, oh, this isn't that bad. So if a friend says, I finally tried baking bread and it was super simple, you might hear, there's nothing to it.
I had this experience with driving a manual car. I thought it would be so difficult. I was nervous about stalling or messing up. But after a few tries, I was like, wait, there's nothing to it. Once you get the timing, it's not scary at all.
Same here. I felt that way about setting up my first podcast microphone. It looked so confusing in the box. Wires everywhere, instructions in small print. But once I followed a YouTube tutorial, I realized it was easy. There's nothing to it.
This phrase can also be really helpful when you're encouraging someone else. Let's say your friend is afraid to try public speaking, and you've done it before. You can say, don't worry, there is nothing to it. Just take a deep breath and start talking. It's a really supportive phrase, Sarah. You're telling someone, you've got this. It's easier than you think. And that little bit of confidence can really help.
So this is a great phrase to use when you're just finished doing something you thought would be hard. For example, I gave my first presentation in English today, and honestly, there was nothing to it. You're proud and you're surprised that it wasn't as bad as you thought.
And you don't have to say the full sentence either. If someone says, was it hard? You can just smile and say, nah, nothing to it.
It sounds very natural and relaxed. Nah, nothing to it. So next time you try something new and it turns out to be easier than expected, you know what to say. There is nothing to it. Here is one of those phrases that's short, strong, and full of agreement. You can say that again.
Now, don't worry. We don't literally want you to repeat yourself. This is just a natural, friendly way to say, I completely agree with you.
Exactly. It's like saying, yes, I feel the same. It's often used when someone says something that you strongly agree with. Maybe about a situation, a feeling, or even a complaint.
For example, if someone says it's really hot today and you're sweating too, you might answer with, you can say that again. It means, yeah, totally agree. It really is hot.
I use this one all the time at work. Like when a colleague says, this week has been so busy. And I'm like, you can say that again. It's a way to show that we're in the same situation. We both feel it.
And it works great in more emotional moments too. If your friend says that movie was so boring and you also hated it, you can nod and say, you can say it again. It's kind of like building a connection through shared opinions.
Yeah, and here is a little tip for our listeners. This phrase often comes with a laugh or a smile. It's not serious or angry. It's casual, friendly, and full of feeling.
And it's a great way to respond without having to say a full sentence. Let's say your friend says, I need a break, and you're exhausted too. You just say, you can say it again, and they'll know you feel the same.
I think it's one of those phrases that makes conversation feel more real. Like you're not just listening, you're feeling it with the other person.
Totally. And just to be clear, we don't actually want people to repeat what they said. It's just an expression that shows strong agreement.
So next time someone says something that you 100% agree with, whether it's funny, serious, or just everyday stuff, try saying, you can say it again.
Okay, next up is a phrase that might sound funny, but it's often used when we're not actually laughing. The phrase is, "Don't make me laugh." And we usually say this when someone says something that's totally unbelievable or even a little bit silly.
Right. It's like saying, that's so ridiculous. I can take it seriously. And most of the time, it's used in a playful or joking way. Not to be rude, but to show that you think something is way off.
Yeah. For example, let's say your friend who never exercises suddenly says, "I'm thinking of running a marathon next month." You might laugh and say, "Oh, come on, don't make me laugh." You're not trying to be mean, you're just saying, "That's hard to believe."
Exactly. I've used this one with my brother. He once told me, "I think I'd be a great actor." And I just looked at him and said, "Don't make me laugh." He's super shy, hates being on stage. It was just so funny hearing him say that.
And sometimes we use it when someone gives us a compliment we don't believe. Like, I once spilled coffee on my shirt before a meeting, and a colleague said, "You still look professional." I just rolled my eyes and said, "Don't make me laugh." We both laughed. It broke the tension.
Yeah, and it's important for our listeners to know that, again, tone is everything here. If you say it with a smile or while laughing, it's friendly and light. But if you say it in a serious or annoyed way, it can be rude.
So be careful with that one. With the right tone, it's a funny way to react to something that sounds way too unrealistic or silly. Also, it's not only about other people. You can say it to yourself. Like, if I try to convince myself I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and go jogging, I literally say out loud, "Tom, don't make me laugh. I know it's not happening."
All right, this next phrase is something we say when we suddenly realize a lot of time has passed quickly. The expression is, "How time flies." It's a way of showing surprise that time has gone by so fast.
Yeah. We don't actually mean that time is flying through the air, like a bird.
It's just a fun, creative way to say, wow, I didn't realize it had been that long.
I say this all the time, Sarah, when I meet old friends. Like, we sit down for coffee, start talking, and suddenly 2 hours have passed. I'll check the time and say, wow, how time flies. It just means that went fast.
Totally. And I always say it when I look at my calendar and realize we're already halfway through the year. I remember this one time. I was like, wait, it's already October? How time flies. It feels like just yesterday we were making New Year's resolutions.
And again, to our listeners, you can use this phrase in many different situations. When you're talking to someone you haven't seen in years, or when you're surprised it's already evening, or even when a holiday or birthday comes faster than you expected.
Exactly. Like if a friend says, my daughter just started high school, you might reply, wow, how time flies. Especially if you remember her being a little kid. It's a great way to show emotion and surprise in a friendly, natural way.
All right, this next one is a little phrase when you want to show that you're not too excited about something. But you also don't hate it. It's that feeling of being in the middle. The phrase is, I can take it or leave it.
Yeah, it means you feel indifferent about something. You're okay with it, but you're not going to ask for it or miss it if it's gone. You're basically saying, it's fine, but I don't care that much.
Exactly. I say this all the time with food. Like, people always offer me popcorn at the movies. and I'll usually say, I can take it or leave it. I'll eat it if it's there, but I'm not a popcorn fan.
Same here. For me, it's reality TV. Some people love it, and some hate it. Me, I can take it or leave it. If it's on, I might watch for a bit, but I wouldn't go looking for it. And the cool thing is, Tom, you can use this for almost anything. Food, music, clothes, even people's ideas. It's a really useful way to give your opinion without being too strong or negative.
Right. It's polite, but clear. For example, if someone asks, do you like jazz music? And you're not really into it, instead of saying, not really, you can just say, I can take it or leave it. It sounds soft, casual, and natural.
Also, it helps in situations where you don't want to argue or seem too picky. Maybe your friends are deciding where to eat and someone says, pizza? You could say, yeah, I can take it or leave it. Whatever works for you guys.
And here's one quick tip. This phrase doesn't mean you dislike something. It just means you feel neutral. You're saying, I'm okay either way.
We really hope you enjoy diving into these everyday expressions with us.
Yeah, these idioms and phrases may be small, but they say a lot. They help you sound more natural and more confident.
So, thanks for spending time with us. Whether you're on a walk, commuting, or just relaxing at home, we're really glad you're here.
Keep listening, keep practicing, and most of all, keep enjoying the journey.